Good
How are
evening.
you
How are
doing?
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So nice to see you again.
Yes. And for all our followers, we finally see Neha. So yes,
Yes.
this is the beloved Neha whose topic, whose names her friends keep taking up during the live sessions that we've had previously. So
For
yeah,
sure.
yes. So without much ado, we will jump right into what our audience is here for today. We have a live session on how to upskill yourself. So today we have our speaker Neha over here with us, and Neha has been in this profession for quite some time now, and has taken up a bunch of different roles under this profession. So we start off with her graduating and doing her MSc from Christ University. After that, she took up a lot of freelancing stuff as well as corporate stuff, where she has undertaken the roles of a project manager, a trainer, a soft skill trainer, and much more. And at the same time, she has also contributed towards helping individuals with their personal problems by doing the role of a school counselor and a counseling psychologist, which I assume is something that she is currently still working on side by side. So see, this over here is a superwoman, everyone, taking up a lot of different roles. And today, what exactly it is that she encounters on a daily basis, we will have Neha go ahead and tell us more about it. So today's session is gonna be talking about the field of HR. And before we delve too deep into this topic, kind of like a disclaimer, and that the field of HR is not just constricted to what we discussed today. Today, we are going to be discussing about one particular aspect in the whole sphere of HR, which is about learning and development. And there are many more opportunities that we will be uncovering towards the end of the session, where Neha will be enlightening us on different upcoming streams under the field of HR. So, Neha, over to you. Would
Uh,
you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, yes, definitely. And Anvita, I think that's a really, really warm welcome. And I think I'm really thrilled to finally be here. And you guys have pushed me enough to finally show my face on the live that we are doing. Yes, so good evening, everybody. For the people who have joined and who don't know me, I'd like to introduce myself. So my name is Neha Thakur, and I have been working in the field of learning and development in CSR responsibility. So I have been around 5.5 years working thoroughly in that. As Anvita already mentioned, that I have also finished my MSc Counseling Psychology from Christ. So that also enables me to sort of build the connect of psychology into the corporate world that I am. I sort of have, I would say, like a very unique blend and mix of human resources clubbed with a lot of mental health intervention. So I think that's how I would introduce myself. And I think yes. The field is HR. The field of HR is very vast, and there are so many things into it. And I think it's a really important time to discuss each one of those things. And through my life journey, if I can sort of help any of you to understand the scope of HR in detail, I think we can do that. Over to you, Anvita.
That's lovely. That's amazing. So now I think our audience already has a glimpse of what an amazing speaker we have within us today. So going further, Neha, you talk about the field of HR. You say that you completed a MSc in psychology from Christ University. So what is
Yeah.
it that specifically led you to, like, as we know, the branch of psychology is very vast. We have clinical,
Yes.
we have counseling, we have industry, we have
Yes.
so, and now we have various upcoming fields in
Yes.
psychology as well. So, what is it that interested you towards working into this whole HR domain?
Yes. So I think that's a very important question to me, and I asked myself while I was studying my MSc Counseling Psychology. When when I started my journey, I was for sure thinking that, I want to take up counseling as, something, as my core jobs. But through Christ, when I explored myself and I started working with, an alumni wing that we had. And this alumni wing was very active, and they wanted to go to each class and train them on different topics such as research, and they wanted to train them on resume writing, different campus to corporate things that they wanted. And that's when I was really introduced to what is training, what is development, because we did our research, we made our own PPTs, and we delivered. So it really felt like a full-fledged thing that I was working. And I got like a really, really nice feedback as to when I went in the class, I was able to engage, and they were able to understand. So through that, I sort of, got my love for, the learning and development that also that I am doing currently. And then I started working with different corporates. While I started working with different corporates, I started my journey as a business communication trainer. I trained a lot of youth, around I think 1,500 to 2,000 would be already like a roughly figure that I've trained, touch, and upskilled, you can say. And through a lot of CSR initiative of different corporations, we were able to help. I went all around India, and were able to travel to different places and talk to the students and upskill. So through that, I think I was 200% sure that I want to stick to this field, and I really want to do something in this. And through that, my next steps sort of came into picture. I also sort of went ahead and did my NSDC certification, like the government certification. Then I started, working with different corporates at different levels. To coming back to the journey, like the thing that I'm doing right now. So blending all my counseling experience and my psychology learning, corporate experience together, I am designing programs for. I'm designing programs for the students and upskilling them, not only for training but also for like a year long of mentoring and support programs that we are offering. So I have a big team, now. We really help a lot of students. So I think 2,000 plus, and I think I can add 40,000 more that we are doing every year. So yeah, that's a huge number to cater to and touch upon. Yes.
That's incredibly a
Yeah.
huge number to reach out to, and that's like an
Yeah.
amazing initiative. And the fact that you're able to reach out to such a vast audience is just commendable. So I'm just in wow about that one second. But yeah, I think so. You're right. So like I suppose colleges and universities do give us the starting platform wherein you get these opportunities. And once you venture out into those, you realize what it is that you're good at and what it is that not to your interest. And I think that is what led you towards this whole journey. So I'm pretty
Yes.
sure that even then, of course, you must have had a certain amount of interest towards the whole training programs and taking up the role of a leadership and all.
Yes.
But I'm sure that, we often talk about that how having an interest in something is not enough. You also need to have the aptitude. You also need to have
Yes.
a particular skill set for
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what exactly were the skill set that your supervisor were looking for when they
Hmm.
hired you, or what you knew that you had which encouraged you into getting into this?
Right, right. I think a very, very, very relevant question, and to all the audiences who are listening right now or who would be listening to our recorded sessions also, I would say a lot of corporates, and specifically about this learning and development domain, a lot of corporates are really open. The people who are graduating from the psychology domain, a lot of corporates are open to training them right? So the corporate that I started working with, they had never hired freshers before, but they really wanted, they really wanted students from the psychology background, because what was really happening was, in the class they had the trainers, they had the experience, but they were not able to establish the connect, that a psychologist or a person who's learned psychology can sort of build that connect. So I think, as coming from the psychology background, I would urge all the students and who are looking into the jobs of corporate. I think the corporates are really open. The skill set that you need to develop, so there is no course that you can become an learning and development expert. You really have to, I would say, work really hard to get into the corporate. But what I did was, because I knew that I wanted to now get into corporate, I was leased to that alumni connect group, and I was making sure that I got like a lot of internship opportunities. I got a lot of experience. So internships, what you do, where you do, makes really a lot of difference after your completion of your degree, right? I mean, degrees really play an important role, but the way you are going to choose, or the recruiters what they're looking at, is apart from academics, what is it
Yeah.
that you have done. So even if you're coming from a clinical background, but if you have done internship in a corporate, that could be like anything, right? Like a small thing of, let's say, employee engagement, some activity you have done, or you've been able to counsel like 10 people, right? They
Yeah.
really look into that, and that really adds on to your resume, and they would want to sort of hire those kind of students. So skill set, so more than skill set, I would say it is on the lines of internships that you are picking up during your graduation and post graduation journey. Yeah.
Wow, that is nice, because I think as a student myself, I now realize, and I think every student at this point can relate to the fact that how even college admissions now, they are not just merely on the basis of your grades or your entrance exams. You have these interview rounds, and in these interview rounds, they don't just ask you academic questions. They ask you what other experience do you have, what are the other activities that you are engaging in. So I think, yeah, enrolling yourself into certain courses and taking up certain internships which are relevant to the field are quite essential. And it's really nice
Yes.
to see that you act like a role model who has done this, and we can now see the fruit of it, of
Yes.
taking up so much of internships at such a young level, and how it has shaped you into what you are today. So, going a little further on, when you spoke about that, they weren't they don't usually hire the freshers, but they wanted someone
Mm.
from the psychology background who can
Mm.
connect well. So,
Yes.
when we talk about the whole, even now, in this
Mm.
field, and you have taken up the position of a trainer
Mm.
several times, and
Mm.
currently I think you are managing a team of some 10 or
Mm.
15 people under you.
Mm.
So
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that there will be times where there would be certain decisions that need to be made, certain conflicts that would arise. And
Mm.
what would you say, like personally, how would you say your psychology background, your psychology learnings, your empathy, how has that made you adaptable or made you comfortable into dealing with scenarios like conflict management and all?
Right, right. So I think, you definitely. So there are different kind of leaders that you want to be, and because coming from that psychology background, I'm definitely that people person. So I cannot dictate, that ABC is something that you have to do, and there are no negotiations on it. So I'm a very open, and I mean, also coming from the psychology background, so person centered approach. So I really feel that each one really has that potential. We just really have to ensure to tap into that, and given this one person an opportunity, and they can do brilliant work. So what I do in my team also, so we have, I mean, so definitely there are like a set of things that they have to do on an everyday basis, but then additional to that, there are so many other things that we want to do, such as just so we have one person who manages the whole for example, events that they want to do inside the whole team. So I have,
Yeah.
ensured that there is one person who manages events. So
Hmm.
every Friday, for example, you want to have a potluck, and there's one person who is managing that, right? Then so there is one person who will manage all the events. There's one person who will manage the fun activities. There are so many things that they have to do. So that is something that I look at. Now, when it comes to conflict, what I usually feel is conflict is definitely an opportunity for the team to explore its strengths and opportunities, right? So what I generally do is, if there is a conflict, if it's a conflict related to idea exchange, right? So we all sit together. The people who are, for example, having that conflict will come up and explain their point of view to have why they are thinking that is right, and the other person will also do the same. And then as a team, we will all vote together what for us feels right. Right. So as a leader, it's really important. I feel that it is not about whose idea it is, right? It's not about Anvita's idea, or it is not about Neha's idea. It is more on what the company needs, needs to be benefited with. So,
Yes.
whatever, once their explanation is done, we all discuss sort of together, and we all decide together, right? And say, hey, this is what I feel would fit best for the organization that we are in. So that is how we manage the whole conflict and difference of opinions. And I think with that activity, the like my team members, they also have like a role to play, as in, their points are heard. So like coming again, from the counseling background, being heard, being listened, tapping into potential. I mean, that's how we are able to really manage the team quite well.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah,
That's nice. So I think so. Like, matlab, what you're trying to say is that coming from this background has made you, a little bit more sensitive, I suppose, and
yes,
more empathetic
yes,
towards their needs, and such that you're able to dismiss of the conflicts without showing any kind of bias or favoritism.
yes.
And I'm assuming that applying this kind of a strategy
Hmm.
helps resolve, not only resolve the conflicts, but it also helps prevent the relations that you have with your employees, and
Yes,
doesn't cause any hindrance to those. So further, building upon this and how you have the psychological background and you have this understanding. So we looked at the whole conflict part, but what about
mhm,
when you have to boost the morale of your employees or your colleagues? Because let's
yes,
be honest, after this whole pandemic, like when we were working from home, somewhere
yeah,
down the road, our productivity, our mindset, something we did feel a bit lethargic and demotivated. And now being
yes,
pushed into the whole remote setting where you have to work back from the office, I'm sure that there would be times when they're not up for it, or they feel like they just don't want to do it. And you know that
yeah,
they have the potential, but they're just not
yes,
living up to it due to some reason.
yes,
So, how do
yes.
you deal with that? How do you boost their morale?
Yes. So first of all, I think it's a really nice question, and I think the people who have the teams or even would want to become, like the first-time managers, I think this is really important. And again, it's not like what I'm doing is the best way to do. I'm going to share what I do. So generally we have like weekly meetings, and through weekly meetings, because you come from again that psychology background, so understanding a person's human like body language and the way they speak, tone, intonation, I sort of understand that they are not in their right frame of mind. So I then take up this one-on-one conversation with them, right? To individually boost their morale, to ensure that they are well adjusted into the workplace. That's one thing. That is like time intervention, when it is right. But I don't wait for them to have like lower morale. So what we do is actually every day, not every day, alternate days, or thrice, or uh, weekly, twice maybe, we all come together, and we have these debriefing meets in the evening, where sometimes we discuss challenges, and what was the challenging phase today and you were not able to do it, and while I'm there in the meeting to ensure that I'm able to help them at
Yeah.
at an extent. Sometimes what we also do is what was really nice and something that you would like to highlight, so that's really something that you would like to change, so these smaller interventions that we do every week really helps them think, really helps them think on other ways also. And because now I have a team, because as I said, we are not only just designing programs but also ensuring touching the student at various bases and giving them
Yeah.
support for mentoring and hand-holding. So I have a team of counselors, and senior counselors and mentors, right? So, like I would say, half of the team also does come from a psychology background. So we all say, that we are all open to listen to the stories. So if there is anything that they would want to talk to, they always have like someone that they can go and talk to, because there's always a psychology graduate person who's qualified and able to listen to. So I mean that's like a small timely check that we do. Also, I think just being open, I have that like open door policy. I don't sit in a cabin, so we all, it's all like we all work together. So they don't hesitate if there's any challenge, they
Yeah.
just give me a call, and or they just come to my desk and say, Neha, this is not working, and then we will all sit together and see how can we make it work. So I think yeah, that's how we sort of roll and ensure that there is no person who's demotivated to sort of work in the team. Yeah.
I think that's amazing because that is absolutely essential. Today we have all of these big companies, their articles. We have Forbes and all who are publishing these articles, and how your workspace. You should,
Yeah.
your non-verbal language. It should all be about having that open space where everyone feels free to talk
Free.
about what is working for them and what is not working from them, instead of having that entire I am your manager and you are under me kind of an equation. So I
Yes.
think it's really good on your part, and I think it really helps to have that, the whole psychological background, that there is someone with whom they can share freely and someone who will be able to understand that openly and empathize with them. I think that's very important because many a times you tend to open up to few people, especially to
Mhm.
your supervisors, and they may or may not understand you, and then that may lead you to shut off completely, further
Right.
lowering your morale. So I think, and having worked with you previously, I do know how good of a listener you are and how motivating you are, and how much you encourage your employees. So I am rest assured that I'm making sure that your team members are in good hands and are getting motivated. So that is about the team, like how their morale stays in place, and how it gets motivated. Well, let's talk about you. Let's talk about what are the perks that you get from working in this field that motivates you to keep going and working at your fullest capacity.
Right. So I think the first, perk, I wouldn't say a perk, but something that I really like, being in this job is when the people that we've trained, counseled, mentored, handholded, they come back in a month's time to say that, everything that you said and I have applied and I so feel equipped, and I'm so I'm so happy to be able to learn all of that. And you were, I mean, not just me, I mean it's like the whole team, right? That all the small advices that you guys have given us really helps us, right? So I'm really glad that for whatever time that I've been working, and each classroom, I had this, set of students who are still in touch with me. So
Yeah.
every, now and then when they get promoted or when they are starting something new, they come back to me and say, everything that we talked, and I'm still applying small places. And I think that's one full gratitude that I have, being in this job. I think nothing else can, of course money is something that will come later, but we all work for money, but that gratitude that I have, for the students who come back to me, with just sheer, I would say just sheer enthusiasm and warmth. That sharing that, I think that is invaluable, and I don't think I will ever be able to replace that at any point in time. I'm wherever I am. That's why I'm not changing my profession. I'm not going to do anything else, and I'm sure I'm just going to be sticking on to this one. So that's like one big thing that I would want to sort of always cherish, for
So
sure.
it seems that the field in itself is quite rewarding. Monetary rewards to hey, of course, because that
Yes,
is an incentive that we all require. Let's be
yes,
honest here. As an adult, we do.
absolutely. Yes,
But apart from that, this entire approach of being able to help someone and seeing them come back and telling you how much it actually helped them and how well they are doing is a success in itself. And I
yes.
can only imagine the kind of feeling. And in fact, after listening to you, I'm inspired to go ahead and take up a certain kind of a position where I am able to pay it forward to someone and then see, help them reach their fullest potential. So that's really truly inspiring. And I think we also had someone's comment saying that I really want to be part of Neha's team now. So I think everyone is getting pretty inspired to be a part of your program and under your leadership. So, talking about we spoke about how rewarding it is, but let's be honest, there are times when, even though we are working in a field which we absolutely love, are interested, there are times when we question our choice. There are times when it gets a bit challenging. And I'm sure that being in this field, there would have been times where you would have encountered a couple of challenges. So, could
Yes.
you share with us what like challenges have you faced and how did you overcome those?
Yes. As much as rewarding it is, being available for students all the time is not easy, because they don't have. As much as I love being there, I have a personal life, but they sort of, because I'm this open person, they will want to reach out to me at any point in time. So there is no closing time for them. So being 24/7 sort of available has been one of the challenges. So so now I think after 5 years I have understood that it is important for me to have my space, and like not overly sort of being there. So what I have started to do is I only take the calls from 9 to 6. And if
Hmm.
the call is after 6, I say that I'm very excited to hear what you want to say, but I would really be happy to take it tomorrow at 9
Yeah.
o'clock, and I'll be the person to call you, but not after 6. So that's how it's definitely been very challenging. So as I said, like managing a team. So I would say I've just lost my work life balance totally, to be able to sort of be there, ensure the deadlines are met, ensure that everything that you're doing is on time, is and like being picture perfect. I think
Yes.
it takes a toll on everything that you're doing. So that has really been challenging, and I would say, struggling a little bit when it comes to work life balance. So I think I'm just taking therapy for the same, and ensuring that I get my time and get my space, even during the times that I'm worked up. Yeah.
Sure. Then I suppose that I absolutely like your answer on how you talk about that. As excited as you are, you set this particular boundaries, and I think that is crucial in every field. And no matter what role you are playing, be it that of a manager or even for employees, that being 24/7 available is just impossible and can be
Impossible.
extremely taxing. So being able to put that boundary that, like, I will take it up tomorrow is really essential. And I wish that all of our audience who are here with us today get, motivated by this strategy and try to inculcate it in their own lives. If you are feeling that you have your boss or someone who is hovering over you 24/7, then please know that it is important to set boundaries,
Yes.
and that you are supposed to, as Neha said, her work-life balance is a bit haywire currently, but this is
Yeah.
definitely a positive step towards
Yeah.
bringing it back to balance. So that's
Yes.
amazing. Now that we have discussed what exactly it is that you work on, the perks, the challenges, and how the psychological background helps you. Now we come to the question of how HR is an a field which is quite popular. We have a lot of people as a psychology graduate
Mhm.
currently. I've had a lot of my friends take interest in the field
Mhm.
of industrial psychology. And
Yeah.
as you rightly said, that industrial psychology is, and HR is not just one thing. HR, you have your HR generalist, you have your
Mhm.
HR recruiting individuals, you have learning and development, which you personally are a part of. So,
Yeah.
being in this field, I'm sure that you must be updated on what goes on in the field of industrial psychology. So,
Right.
what would you say are several upcoming branches that are coming up over here in this field?
Right. So as you rightly said, there is also industrial psychology, and I think that is something that you can learn and become a part of organization. And if you are learning like industrial psychology and or doing a postgraduate diploma in sort of HR, right?
Yeah.
You can definitely have a lot of space. One is learning and development, right?
Hmm.
Another thing is employee well-being. The people, the students who finish their counseling psychology. So we don't call counselors in the corporate, so we will call it as a wellness coach. So a lot
Oh.
of industries, yeah, a lot of industries are also open to hire these wellness coach. Where you can be on contract or you can work on freelance, or they also have started to have their in-house counseling departments where they are open, like sort of 24/7, and the employees can come and talk in like the therapies, right? That is sort of another thing, right? I would say another thing, if you have done your HR or if you have done your counseling psychology, if you are a person who likes to do a lot of events, right? There are also an upcoming field such as employee engagement. So
Oh.
a lot of companies, because and especially I think due to COVID, a lot of companies have started thinking on employee engagement front also. So they have, I would say, really started different verticals to, do employee engagement at large. Students who have studied psychology or have done the HRDM course, and
Hmm.
really have the urge and the enthusiasm to sort of manage a lot of events, talk
Hmm.
to a large group, and like build a robust team and manage that like monthly basis. A lot of corporates are also open to sort of take in those kind of candidates and help them in employee engagement front. So when I say employee engagement, it could be as small as doing a mental health week, or it could be as big as having an annual event, or it could be as small as going on an outing, right? So they manage end to end what is an employee experience and how they can engage the employees apart from the work that they are doing. So a lot of corporates are heavily investing into all of this. So I think
Hmm.
I would urge all the students who are studying psychology and want to get into corporate. It's not very difficult, as I had started to, say, the internships that you pick, if you are
Yeah.
able to crack yourself into some of the very difficult spaces, or even do an internship at an employee engagement level, or do an internship, like just be a freelancer and counsel 10-15 people, and have that as your certification, and you are building your path even into these streams. So
Yes.
yes, so I think these are definitely upcoming fields. While you can relate a lot of like consumer psychology, so the students who are doing industrial psychology and are interested into research, right? So a lot of companies, before launching products, they are also studying the market in detail, understanding the
Yeah.
need, understanding how do they launch their product, etc. So that is also like consumer psychology, that's that upcoming domain, which can be heavily explored, I think. And I feel as psychology students, I always have that soft corner. We don't take these opportunities, but I feel we really, really must, put ourselves forward, and we can be in the corporate. It's not impossible. We really have to see, how do you best fit yourself. So yeah, I think these are definitely, I mean, there are so many more, but these are something which, a lot of corporates have paved the path, meaning you don't have to really struggle getting into it.
So I really like how I think most of us, including me, now we realize how broad the field is, because initially we just had as a psychology student we just had this myth that industrial psychology is just HR and HR is just recruiting and training, and then we are just questioning ourselves that okay, we don't have that skill set, so we won't opt for it. But now when you speak about how there's consumer psychology, there's research, there's planning programs and implementing those. So I think there is, in one statement, if I have to say this, there is a place for everyone in this
Yes.
field, and it is such a broad field where each skill set can be honed. And I think that's absolutely amazing, and I think that shows how much the field is progressing. And definitely our audience, especially those who are currently students pursuing psychology, can now further look into it after our session, and obviously they can get back to us with questions related to the field, and we will get you in touch with Neha, and we will try our level best to get back to you as soon as possible with your
Yes.
queries. So I think that winds about it. We have certain questions in the comments, so Neha will take those up right now.
Okay.
So, yes, let me just see. We have a lot of compliments for you. A
Thank you,
brilliant motivator and
dear
must.
dear
Yes.
friends.
Yeah. So we have one question which states that is there any advanced level HR training for internship program?
So that's what I said, right? All these fields, people. So how it was earlierly done was, there was no learning and development professionals. So the people who had the knack of explaining and had the experience of being in that field for like 5 years, 10 years, they were known as the learning and development, right? So but coming from that psychology background and being in that corporate, now there is a little demarcation as to, you don't really only need the experience and technical, you also need a little bit of skill set to ensure that you are able to connect, you are able to train and coach and etc. So I don't know of any advanced level HR trainings, but what you can definitely do is, after if you've completed your MBA, you can definitely certainly do an executive program. In this executive program, it's a 1 year diploma sort of program where you can, specialize into certain things that you would want to do. So that is possible. Like specific to for HR, there would be, but something that I don't know, and I would really have to, find myself and upskill myself too. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. You know, one thing great about Neha is how she keeps updating herself, and even when we were working together, she's always like so open to learning about stuff. She never has this whole that, oh, I am at this particular level and like I now know everything. So I really love that. So off topic, but do inculcate that trait from a guest speaker today on how to always keep updating yourself and being open to learning and experiences.
Yes,
So
yes.
Neha, the question for you is, what is the success mantra of yours?
Yeah. So I think something that I'm going to continue from what Anvita was saying, being a continuous learner and just ensuring that you are being relevant to everything that is going on around you. That is the success mantra, because the moment you have that, thing inside you that I know it all, that's the time I think you start really declining your success. I mean, that's how I feel. But definitely continuous learning, ensuring that you are relevant, and ensuring that you have the right skill, expertise, and being open to accepting that, hey, I don't know this and it's new and I would want to really learn it. So I think that is something that has really pushed me to learn so many new things and do my certifications and do my like trainer certifications, or their small courses, or visit networking events, or do all of that. That is something I feel people should really continue to do.
All right. We have another question. Is there any particular course or diploma for
Hmm.
employee engagement associate without having a degree in psychology?
The question asked, I mean, we don't have employee engagement degree. There is nothing known as employee engagement degree, but there are things that are open, as I said. So you can pick up your post graduation, doing your MBA into HR, right, and pick up your internships into employee engagement, or you can, I feel, if you are not able to crack these big organizations, you can start with small, like MSME, mid and small scale industries, and you can be the initiator there and say, what, anyways, internships are for free. I mean, if you are really lucky if you're getting paid, so you can definitely be the initiator, and anyways you're working for free, right? And get that certificate for you. And I have done several of those, and been the initiator, talked to them. I said, this is what I feel I can do for you. Do you think you can, we can work together? And they said, do you want money? I said no. So that's how we have I mean, I got that experience, and learning from each experience is what I'm doing everything today. So gaining experience while you are as a student is one key uh, for you. Yeah. There
All
is
right.
no employee engagement programs. Yeah.
Yes, I think a couple of courses that you do and continuously updating yourself, on, like taking up several internships, is what
Yes.
the key is to
Hmm.
becoming really good at it.
Yeah. While
Yeah.
I can recommend, you can. So there are several chapters. So there are small, like national human resource development chapters that are there in each city, and you can become a part of those chapters, and they keep doing several of these, change management, organization development, employee engagement, HR analytics, these small time 2 months, 3 month
Yeah,
courses.
yeah.
If you really want to be somewhere there, you can become a part of their chapters, become a member, and they keep doing these networking events. And I think not want to promote any of that, but I have not experienced any of those courses, but you can definitely explore.
Ex- All right. We have another question from Shivani asking, what advice do you have for other entrepreneurs to balance mutual respect and friendship with their employees? I have internalized bias that being friendly can expose you to be not taken seriously.
Yes. So I think, Shivani, first, congratulations to all the work that you are doing, and it is amazing to see you grow. Number one, so mutual respect is, I feel, definitely like a give and take. So the way you are treating, definitely, I feel, it's the karma, it's what you give definitely sort of turns around and comes back to you. So being friendly can definitely expose you to be not taken seriously. I think that is definitely a valid, and so I am this over friendly person. So I feel, taking my baby steps to ensure that I am taken seriously. So what I also do is, for example, also taking some learnings from that psychology, is conditioning that you are approachable, but when there are times of escalations, you
Hmm.
sound really serious, and then you don't like. So what happens is, for example, there is a deadline and this person has skipped this deadline. You don't say that in a joking way, or you don't say, hey, why didn't you do it? You really have
Hmm.
this tough conversation, right? What happens is, for people like us, it's very difficult to have these tough conversations, right? But I feel it's really
Yes.
important for us to have those tough conversations and be tough with that individual until that thing is really done. So
Hmm.
this person really understands that, it's not easy to always, this person is not really easy. So this person is approachable, but it's also really important to do your all work on time. So,
Hmm.
that is something that I have started to do. If they are, for example, having a big team, they want holidays all the time. So if they are wanting holidays, the first question I ask is, this is something that you have to do by this week, is it done? If it's done, please go ahead and take your leave. If it's not done, don't come and ask me about your leaves, right? And I'm
Hmm.
really open to give you leaves, but not on the cost of you not being able to do work.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the balance that I have started to sort of take. I hope, Shivi,
Yeah.
I'm able to sort of help you. Yeah.
All right. So I think that covers it. We do not have any more questions, and I think you answered all of them pretty well from your own experience and your knowledge. And in case we have any more questions that come up, you can send a message to Mind Efficient. You can DM it to us, and our team will send the question across to Neha, who will answer it and will connect it back to you. So, thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Neha, for being here today and enlightening us on the field and honestly inspiring us and motivating us, and especially the students who are still yet to choose their specialization. I think this was of great help to know that, what are the different opportunities out there that we can further venture out into. So thank you so much for taking out time and doing this with us. And yes, we have a lot of thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Neha, coming in. And I think from the comments, our audience absolutely loved you. So we look forward to having more live sessions with you in the future.
Yes. The more you push me, I think the more I'm going to be comfortable doing these live
Definitely.
sessions. But I think I've had, this lovely time speaking to you. And thank you to all the people who have been there, stayed, and, Shivani, so many people who have, commented Shivani. I think, even I think this is. You are far away, but being there with me. Thank you so much for supporting all the time, and thank you to the best team I have. I think for always pushing me to do things that I'm not okay with, but I always learn. So I think I'm really happy, and it's been an amazing session. Please feel free to reach out to our page. And if there are any questions related not only to the HR field, but if you feel you have career related questions, you feel you need an expert advice, I'm not an expert, but I will ensure that you get an expert advice, answering that question. So please feel free to reach out to us. I'll be more than happy to handle and accept. So I think, Anvita, you being the best host possible, I know now why all the speakers love you so much. Thank you for making me so comfortable today. It's really an amazing session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neha. And once again, our audience, in case of any messages or queries, do DM it to Mind Efficient. I will send it across. Thank you so much
Yes,
for being with us. You have been lovely. Our audience, thank you for commenting and engaging with us so much. We hope to see you soon in our next live session. Thank you.
for
Goodbye.
sure. Thank you. Goodbye,
Bye.
Anvita.
Bye.